What's going on, my friends? I hope that you are well. I hope you had a great Christmas, and I hope your new year is going to go well. It's getting that time to gear up for the new year and get some music done. Hope you guys sat down and thought about your goals and what you want to do. I'm always doing it. I think not just one part of the year, but I'm always doing it. I'm always adjusting in the year, going, okay, let's shift our focus here or there. You're going to do that. It happens all the time. But I tell you, sometimes I get on and just speak my mind, and I want to get on more, but I've got so much going on at the moment. I'm trying to get my house built, trying to get that done and everything finished. But I wanted to talk about something real quick that you may have heard me mention before, and something to think about. And a lot of you, if you get into production music long enough, it's going to happen. Here with a library that does this, it's important that you understand, something, and knowing that, as you see in the title of this video, the easiest brief that you will do, music brief. When I say brief, some of you might be new, is music brief, which is something publishing libraries, could be music supervisors, could even be editors if you're working with them, and that relationship was in that direction. They give you music houses for advertising briefs. A brief is something they give you to tell you about music they're looking for and what they require. They'll give you reference tracks to tell you about what they do and what they don't want. It's basically a music brief. It's their needs of music at that point in time. And folks, when I say the easiest music brief that you will ever do is a music brief where your music is a reference track in that brief. And that's happened numerous times for me. When I say your music you've done for that library, they've used your track as a reference track in that brief. The easiest part of it is to keep doing what you're already doing. It's nothing hard to it. You've done it already. It's gotten placed. And you need to do more of it. And, the only difference is maybe add new elements, get creative with it, but stay in that same vein. Stay with those similar elements, because they're using that track a lot for a reason. It works for them. And this is a volume business. Therefore, do more of them. Get them as many as you can. Don't do so many that you're compromising your quality, but you know what to do as a composer, and we're all different. Everybody has their own pace. We have their own volume. But I have a publisher, I just got the brief yesterday, that sent a brief for the Real Murders franchise. It's Real Murders of Atlanta, all that. If you've seen the Real Murders of Atlanta, Real Murders of whatever other city they're filming for, they'll probably be branching out to other places, but Atlanta seems to be the big one right now. But they sent the brief out. New season's coming up for the Real Murders franchise. They need more music. There are examples, and there's a link there in it. So here's the examples of tracks that have been used the most from us in the Real Murders. And 3 or 4 tracks of those were my tracks that they were using. I already knew, and there was probably more coming, but that right there is a brief that you need to do. If you are at a point where you just don't have time or can't, you got to make time to put a few tracks in it, because what they're doing is they're calling for a new batch of tracks because they're going into post-production for the next season. They need that music. And I think the deadline is January 9th. So I'm going to try to get him about 10 tracks. I mean, that's fair. That's an album of tracks. 10 to 15 tracks is an album, so 10. Between now and then, I can get him 10. I've got to really focus my time, because I'm trying to get my house done. I've got all this on me, but I've got to fit time to get that done. Even if after the first of the year, if I have to double up a little bit, I'll get it done. But the cool thing is that there are about 10 to 12 reference tracks in there. Some tracks that I didn't do. Now, what I encourage you to do, and this is what I've learned, is listen to those other references as well, because the important thing is they've used those tracks as well for a reason. They were elements, or they were things about the the structure of that track, or some things that they like that maybe you haven't done. It's important to maybe focus on and add some of that in your tracks. But overall, this is the easiest brief you'll ever do. You couldn't get any easier or better than this. You don't have to study those reference tracks as hard. Just listen to them and kind of compare them to what you've done, because they've already used those tracks of yours. You already know what elements, all I did was sit there and just list the elements that I used in my tracks, which is making it that much easier, and then building off of that, trying to get creative and try to add new elements, but similar elements. Very similar. When I say pulse sense, similar pulse sense, but not too distracting. Listen to your tracks from the first 30 seconds is probably the most crucial, because the titles help a lot to get them to actually listen to the track. But a lot of times the first 15 to 30 seconds get their attention, and they don't even have that much time. That's more like what they use, or they'll chop up that and they'll go through and they may chop another part. Listen to your frequencies. Make sure it's not too piercing, not too busy, not too many notes. 9 times out of 10, if you can actually watch that actual part of that episode where your music is in it, you can hear what they've used. And all it is a support to the dialogue. It sets a tone and a mood. And you'll already know what to do. You really will. So keep that in mind. That'll be the easiest brief that you'll ever do. And hopefully your tracks, a lot of y'all's tracks are getting placed. You're doing well, and some that are starting out, hopefully you'll get to a point where you can get some placements and you'll experience this and you'll know. That's kind of the cool thing about that, and what it's done for me is it's helped to I guess validate me that I'm actually doing better than I think. And it makes me feel good knowing that I'm doing the right thing, even though I can always get better at what I'm doing, and I strive to. There's a lot that I want to get better. There's a lot more that I want. I don't think it ever gets to a point with us where we got everything we want. We're not always where we really want to be, and that's the case with me. I'm not where I want to be musically, but we'll get there hopefully. It just takes some work. It's a long game. It's a long process. So anyway, if you haven't set your goals, get your new year cranking, whether you're trying to get with new publishers, new genres of music you want to do, music, how much you want to do this year, and so on. Stay on it. It just takes some work. It's a long game. This is not if you get anybody out there who's trying to sell you I've got you can quit your job tomorrow opportunity for you. And, they're not telling you right, man. It takes some work. There are people that can get in there and kill it very early in the game, but that's not all of us. It still takes some work. And a lot of it is finding the libraries that are a good fit for you, that good relationship, man. That has taken me some time, and it still is, So anyway, I wanted to jump on real quick and talk about that. Folks, that's the easiest brief you'll ever do, and keep that in mind. Don't not do that brief, any music at all. Do something for it. If your music is in that brief, that publisher or that client is looking for you to supply music to it. Because in this case, 3 or 4 of my tracks were in those references. And I'm going to get this guy some music. I have to. So that's opportunity for more placements. That's what it boils down to, my friends. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully soon down the road I can jump on and get on some more. I've got to get my house finished. Trying to get my year started musically and get everything on track. So other than that, I thank you for watching, and you guys have a great one. We'll see you on the next one. Be cool. Bye.